Hello everyone, myself Pavitra Karamchandani. Today we will study what are vectors. So, what do you exactly mean by that? Vectors are nothing but only those physical quantities which require magnitude as well as direction for their complete meaning. For example, if I say that my velocity is 5 meter per second, then is it a velocity? No, it is only speed because I am talking only about magnitude 5 meter per second. The magnitude that is 5. But if I say my speed is 5 meter per second in the direction east, then this whole bracket, this whole thing that I travel 5 meter per second plus the direction east makes it a velocity. That means vectors are only those physical quantities which require magnitude as well as direction for its complete meaning. On the other hand, what are scalars? Only those physical quantities which require only magnitude for their complete representation. For example, speed. As I said, my speed is 5 meter per second in the direction west. Then it whole comprises of velocity. But if only I talk about magnitude, that my speed is 5 meter per second, then it is only the speed because I'm not telling you the direction. I'm not specifying in which direction I am moving. Or some quantities which does not require direction for their complete understanding are speed, work. I done for 10 joule of work. It doesn't matter in which direction I work. Then this was the basic difference between scalars and vectors. Now we will study the representation of vectors. See, I have made an arrow like this. I took an arrow from here shapes and I have drawn this arrow. See this arrow I have drawn. Here, the length of the vector, length of this arrow, this till this, represents the magnitude. What is this? It is the head of the arrow. Arrowhead indicates the direction. North, south, east, and west. So, this arrowhead is representing the direction east. Arrowhead means this part where it is pointed. It represents the direction, and this whole length represents the magnitude. There are various types of vectors: equal vectors, unequal vectors, parallel vectors, anti-parallel vectors, collinear vectors, coplanar vectors, concurrent vectors, zero vectors, and unit vectors. Now let us study what do you mean by equal vectors. Equal vectors mean those vectors which have same magnitude and same direction. Both the conditions should be satisfied. I did work of 10 joule in the direction east and I did a work of 10 joule in the direction west. Are they equal vectors? Think about it. They aren't vectors even. Work is a scalar quantity. That's the catch. If you guessed it correctly, congratulations, your basics are clear. Because first I told was the difference between scalars and vectors. Now you are not recalling the basic concept, then how will it work? So what are equal vectors? Equal vectors are those vectors having the same direction, same magnitude. For example, 5 meter per second in the direction east and 5 meter per second in the direction west aren't equal vectors. Equal vectors are those vectors which are of same magnitude as well as direction. For example, 5 meter per second in the direction east, there are two vectors. दोनों का magnitude 5 है. Both direction is east, so they are equal vectors. Unequal vectors, either the direction or the magnitude gets changed. When both the conditions get satisfied, then they become equal vectors. If even one of the condition does not satisfy, it becomes unequal vector. 5 meter in the direction east, 5 meter in the direction west, 5 meter per second in the direction east, 5 meter per second in the direction west. If we take case of velocity, they are unequal vectors because the direction are changed. Or let me say 5 meter per second in the direction east and 6 meter per second in the direction east. Now direction is same but magnitude is reversed, magnitude is changed. So they are unequal vectors. So now our next vector, what do you mean by parallel vectors? Parallel vectors means vectors having same direction irrespective of their magnitude. Their magnitude doesn't define their parallel nature. If two vectors are in the same direction, they are parallel, whether their magnitude be different or be it same. 5 meter in the direction east and 10 meter in the direction east. Both are parallel vectors. The angle between parallel vector is, tell me, 0. For example, there is an arrow which I have drawn here. It is in the direction east. I draw one more arrow in the direction east, and it is of a greater magnitude than the first one. But both direction is east, so both are parallel vectors. Even if their magnitude is same, then it's all good case. It will even be a parallel vector. What are anti-parallel vectors? Anti-parallel vector are vectors whose direction is different irrespective of their magnitude. For example, this vector, which I have drawn just now, and these two vectors are anti-parallel. And one more thing, the angle between parallel vectors is 0 degree. For example, both vectors are facing east. So what's the angle between them? 0 degree. But if you take case of the direction facing east, the vector facing east and the vector facing west, aren't they anti-parallel? Isn't their angle 180 degree? Therefore, angle between parallel vectors is 0. Angle between anti-parallel vectors is 180 degree. Now we will study collinear vectors. Collinear vectors means vectors in the same line. For example, this vector, they both are collinear vectors. They are having the same line.